Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
Does a routine traffic stop become a battle of wills? And if it is a battle of wills and it goes south, who gets it?
A lot of people get angry when they hear just comply, and they act like complying is
Pulled out of his car onto a wet pavement and a set of charges that go far beyond a simple traffic ticket.
I think we're doing a bad disservice, especially to our young men, when we tell them that that's the way to handle being stopped by the police.
They pull him out of the vehicle. They strike him again on that. And he's being compliant at this point. It wasn't resisting at that point.
I think the whole thing could have been avoided.
Hill of Justice is sponsored and produced by Jermaine Delmas Studios.
In Jacksonville, Florida, silver Kias pulled over. The reason? No headlights and what other officers call inclement weather, a seatbelt violation infraction. So minor that most of us get a warning. And then we got 5 minutes of nonsense. Shattered glass, a man pulled out of his car onto a wet pavement, and a set of charges that go far beyond a simple traffic ticket. So the question that we're asking is, does a routine traffic stop become a battle of wills? And if it is a battle of wills and it goes south, who gets it wrong? And was this case of a citizen standing up to a power-hungry cop, or was it a necessary escalation by an officer dealing with a dangerous and unpredictable situation? So, as with most situations, the truth, as always, is buried in the details. I'm Jerome Hill, and with me is retired Sheriff Victor Hill, and we're your hosts of Hill of Justice. We got a clip. I want to share it with you, and I just want to go ahead and let everyone know that if you're listening to it, you'll hear the audio. And if you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see it play out in its full detail. So we'll walk through what was done right and what went wrong and so on, so forth. So we'll break down exactly what this situation and how it unfolded. So let's take a look at this.
Yeah, Florida 24 Bravo Echo Charlie Whiskey on a silver Kia. I don't like this.
250 westbound Commonwealth 24 Bravo Echo Charlie Whiskey.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
77, 35. I'm cooperative with the driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle. 25 seconds. For 94, the driver just slammed the door and locked it.
Call your supervisor.
Yep.
Unit 1033.7 on 1050 at West Palm and Commonwealth.
25 seconds. If anybody responded, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please.
I'm coming west on Commonwealth. I'll be there in a second.
Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. No, he's under arrest. Hey, I'm about to break the window. trying to break the window.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
Show me your hands.
Here.
Dissecting 1033 at 1521 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now.
Get on the ground.
No, don't touch it.
Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back. I'm resisting. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was on
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
Fucking 2%, bro. I'm doing, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes.
No for reason, bro. You gonna throw my phone like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
You just gotta see what the already.
So your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
Yes, it is. So why close the door if you see him pull up? Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, sir.
I don't know.
Can you back me up to the car so I can lean up? Sit up. You done bust my bro.
You good?
Yeah, you or him? Okay.
Well, okay, that's it for you too, obviously. Under arrest for resisting.
Can you unlock the door and step out?
Can you talk to me though?
I will. Can you step out?
Because you don't even know the whole situation.
You're being done. There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
And I'm required to actually.
So,
Can I talk? Am I also?
yes.
What I did wrong, right?
Correct.
Right. He gave no lawful reason.
Huh?
He gave no lawful reason why he pulled me.
Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess talked to you?
When he pulled me over, he
Yeah.
opened my door because my window don't work.
Oh yeah.
And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like,
Okay.
there's multiple people headlights.
Okay, that's still a legitimate reason to pull somebody over.
There's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on. Huh? Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will. Huh? All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
Dissecting 1033 at 1521 hours.
I'm here. What's your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. Get on the ground. Don't fucking get on the ground.
What's the fight? Behind your back. I'm resisting. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
2574, lift 1033, one in custody.
Stop. Lean up. Lean up.
No, man. Ain't no talking. Bro, what's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro.
You
Yes.
have a lawful reason, bro. You gonna throw the ball like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
Too late. It ain't no too late.
When they asked you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that.
So your partner didn't even act. Your
Marijuana
partner
in his right
didn't.
pocket.
Yes, it is.
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, but I didn't do
Oh,
nothing wrong.
resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Camera going in there.
Can you back me up to the car so I can lean up? Sit up.
I did.
Okay.
That ain't good.
You good? I know. He should have put some gloves on, bro.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here. Huh?
You see that joint?
What? The knife? Yeah, that's it.
All right. So let's break down this whole thing. What was your impressions of that?
I think the whole thing could have been avoided. Let me tell you, a lot of people get angry when they hear just comply, and they act like complying is not a wise thing to do. Let me tell you this. I've had experience. I was a sheriff, and we're not going to go deep into my story or whatever like that, but we know that I was a political target, so my political enemies would come up with reasons to try and lock me up so they could get the position. And whenever they would do that, there was always someone saying, okay, hey, well, put your hands on the wall or whatever. And I just went along with it because I know the game. And if I start arguing, hey, well, I'm in law enforcement. Hey, you don't have to do that. For what? You just create an unnecessary whatever. I just go along with the process and take notes so I can deal with it in court. I think we're doing a bad disservice, especially to our young men, when we tell them that that's the way to handle being stopped by the police. If you believe that he's wrong, that's fine. If you want to film it, that's fine. You can with your camera. No one has a right to take a camera from you when you're filming.
But
photography is not illegal. Right.
Wow.
Right. But closing the door, even if you don't agree with the officer did give him a reason for stopping him. Whether you agree with the reason or not, or even if you think, well, you don't have anything else better to do, you can pull someone over for that. I mean, you can. And that could have been handled in a different way where, hey, listen, I don't agree with the reason I was being pulled over. I'd like to write a written complaint. I have something on film. But all of that was unnecessary. And I kept looking for something the officers did was wrong. It was hard to find it. I was under the impression, and I'm not sure, I kept trying to catch it. I thought I was under the impression that after he was handcuffed, someone struck him. And if that happened, that's wrong. But I just can't come up with a logical reason. I know what it's like to be harassed by law enforcement. I've had political enemies do that to me on purpose so they could try and take the seat. But what they would have liked is for me to do exactly what that young man did.
Sure.
And then they could play, hey, see there?
Right.
So, anytime you have problems with folks like that, the best thing to do is get it on film, be calm, be cool, and don't give them anything. And
Right.
he gave those officers so much by closing the door, by whatever. If you disagree, that's fine. You have a right to disagree. But that's not the proper way to disagree. And you put yourself in a precarious, dangerous situation when you do that. And when we tell people in society that type of conduct is okay, we're putting not just their lives in danger, we're making the officers' lives in danger, and ultimately we're losing any structure, anything we have left in society. Because that basically what you're saying is the police don't have no right to stop me for any reason at all. And if they do, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm supposed to become a hero out of it. And that's just not the case. Do I think we hit Monday morning quarterback all day? Do I think that a lot of time should be spent with headlight violations? Personally, not. There's other things, but it is a lawful stop. And I have been stopped for craziness like that before. And I just pulled over and gave them what they wanted. And 9 times out of 10, they let me go.
Yeah. I see it for a couple angles. The first angle is the tone that the officer took. Of course, yeah, I know that he was saying, "Hey, guess what? His window was busted, and that's why he opened up the door." I just wouldn't immediately took any type of offense to that, and it seemed like the tone just switched at that point in time. And that's what it just seemed like. He went into a accusatory zone there. And then after that, it just got ridiculous. It seemed like it was a little bit more aggressive. I kind of get where um, the officer is coming from, but you're not there just yet, And so at that point in time, naturally, there's several things that happens, and I just don't want the officer to get lit up later on by in civil suit, saying that, hey, guess what, his posture came out aggressive. That's what they're going to say right off the bat.
But Jerome, the guy, I stopped a lot of cars in my years, and more often than not, they don't open the door quite like that. And you're already walking up to a car, you don't know if they have anything or not. Every car is an unknown. And when he asked, why did you open the door? I mean, it wasn't that great. I didn't get why didn't you answer the door? I mean, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If you were the chief of police and they worked for you,
mm-hmm.
do you see any offense to discipline them on?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
First of all, I don't know why you're calling them idiots. We shouldn't be cussing at them. That's one.
Okay.
And calling them idiots. That's one. Two, we shouldn't be striking them in the face.
Now,
especially when he was complied.
Now, I'm with you on that one. I just couldn't see on this angle.
You're not seeing it on those videos, but that's exactly why I'm putting it out there, because it's the body cam of the officers.
Okay, gotcha.
If his video actually shows once he breaks the window and he said, "I'm not doing anything," he gets struck in the face. Now,
okay, I'm with you on that. Okay,
right.
That whatever. But before that,
mm-hmm.
before he strikes him in the face,
mm-hmm.
okay, because you're not supposed to strike anybody once they're handcuffed or whatever like that. And I don't see any reason for a strike there. So I'm with you on that, and that's what I thought we were seeing. I just couldn't see it from this angle, but I think there's another angle where that happens. And didn't it happen after he was handcuffed?
No. The first strike was when he wasn't handcuffed. The window was immediately broken, and the officer comes in and gives him a shot in his face.
Okay, boom. Okay, good. I'm with you on that. Okay, and did they strike him after he was handcuffed?
So when they pull him out of the vehicle, they strike him again on that.
Okay,
and
boom.
He's being
I got
compliant.
that. Okay,
at this point, it wasn't resisting at that point. He was like, "Hey, guess what?" He's arguing, but not in a physical way to cause them any concern about their safety.
But had they not struck him,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything else that was wrong?
Not that I would have went hard on. Obviously, if the young man makes a complaint that you were discourteous to them, we'll have to go ahead. I'll send that up to IA, and that's not going to be very. That's not going to really amount to anything. Right. Where I think where the issue really comes in is that, I'm used to, we're peace officers, right?
Right.
I know we say we're police officers, but we're also peace officers. So we're to de-escalate things and make that go down. And that's why you use verbal judo. You have all those type of skill sets in your tool pocket to go ahead and bring down the temperature. And
so how long, if he told him he was under arrest, how long was they supposed to talk to him? Because he obviously wasn't going to come out the car.
I think the key part was there. What you're talking about is when he said, "Hey, guess what? First of all, the moment that he said no, it was arrestable offense. And let me tell you why. You are to comply with a police officer's order. Especially, it is a privilege to drive a vehicle. It is not a right. The moment that you operated that vehicle and he saw that, and yes, it was petty in regards to the headlight being on during inclement weather. Well, how are you going to articulate that in court? I just want to see that happen. But then guess what? You didn't have a seatbelt on. You violated. That was a proper stop, even if it was,
Right.
if you were looking for something else. Sorry, we could take a look at any car out here and see any one of the vehicle codes, and probably people are violating 5 or 10 times over, with any one of their vehicles. So that on that end of it, he stopped you. Right now, it's a stop. Now, when he also asked him, hey, guess what? I wanted the supervisor, and he asked for what? License, registration, and insurance. And he said
Right.
no. Once he barricaded himself in there, it was all on. At that point in time, the Supreme Court gives you the right at that point in time, because you can't see his hands. You don't know what he's got in his car. You can't make entry because you have an arrestable offense that happened in your presence.
Right. When they bust that window, where was it? That shot was a shot to the face, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me tell you this. When a person is resistant, they do train officers that they can do compliance strikes, not to the face.
Right.
Not to the face. Let's get that straight. Right. But they do train them that they can do compliance strikes, like meaning you can't get a person to let go of the steering wheel.
Right.
So maybe there's a strike to the arm.
I'll give you one better than that.
Right.
How about a distraction strike?
Right.
So
right.
All of us who are trained at PPCT, pressure point control techniques and everything like that, we know how to do those type of things. But he was compliant. He was sitting in his car. He had his seatbelt on at that time, and he was putting his hands up. And that's when you got the blow.
Okay, so got you
just
on that.
bought.
No argument there. No argument.
Yeah. And so,
okay, so out of curiosity, okay, you got that blow there. How would you handle that?
If
you're the chief, you're the sheriff, what would you do? Huh?
Oh, he just bought our department into a federal lawsuit at that point in time.
I agree.
Have no illusions with that.
You would do what with him?
And at that point in time, he would have to sit down on the desk.
I mean,
I don't care how amped the situation was. What he basically did was put his whole department, and me as chief into a federal lawsuit.
No argument, just ask it. Now I got another question. There was another strike, correct?
Correct.
And that strike was after he was handcuffed.
No, I didn't see. Well, a lot of people felt as though that there was more shenanigans when he was down on the ground.
Okay.
But as you see, when they pulled him out of the vehicle, and he was like, "I'm trying to," and he took another strike in the face.
Okay, exactly. Okay, he took a strike there.
Right.
So I think that's the other angle I saw in another video, because I could have sworn there was a strike outside the car.
Right.
And at the time of that strike, he wasn't striking anybody. He was just not being cooperative, but whatever. Okay.
So just to make it clear, you can resist without violence. Okay. So I want to make that and there's a charge for that. Resistance without violence. And you being non-compliant. In fact, when he closed the door and he said the word no, and he closed the door, you have now resisted without violence. You are on the hook to be arrested.
Right.
So, but are we on the force continuum with a physical strike yet? No, we're not. And that's why they bought a one-way ticket. They did almost everything right up until those
two strikes. Other than the 2 strikes, was there anything wrong?
No. Well, I would go ahead and contend when he dropped down a signal 35. So he that means everybody in the world's coming to you at that time. Okay, in Jacksonville. The issue is one of the police officers were coming so hot and heavy, he hit another police vehicle. Because he's like, oh shoot, this must be a real-time emergency.
I got you, but we don't want to nitpick like that.
Yeah.
Did they do, as far as he's concerned, did they do anything wrong?
No.
I'm with you on the strikes. The strikes, unnecessary. But other than that, there was nothing done wrong, correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Was it the same officer that did these strikes?
It appeared to be, yes.
Right. So would you agree with me that he would need to be disciplined, not the other officers?
That's correct, because they don't
Okay.
know what's going on, and one of them could have lost their lives with that signal 35. That's my concern on it. When you have a situation like that, if somebody's not compliant, let me go back to what you were saying before. Okay, everybody should comply. Okay, well, guess what? This is the real world. Not everybody's going to comply. That's why we're professionals, and they're not. They're going to do that type of stuff.
Is a 35, because in Clayton County, we have a 73 and a 63. A 73 means get here now, lights and siren.
Right.
63 means officer down, the whole world comes.
Mm-hmm.
Is a 35 equivalent to officer down, or is a 35 equivalent to our 73?
73.
Right. Well, you
don't come hot and heavy like that. But
on
a lot of officers
on a 73,
do.
On a 73, they're supposed to come. The 63, everybody comes. But a 73 means we need to get here now. I mean, you have a guy, he shut a door. We don't know if he has a gun or not. We just, what we talked about on our last show was a guy that took the car. You don't know what's going to happen at that point. Right. So they need to get there fast. If they can't drive, I mean, they just need to learn to drive better.
Right.
But I think what we're dealing with here, if we're going to isolate this, we're dealing with 2 strikes that should have never happened. Mm-hmm. And we're dealing with an officer that should be disciplined for those strikes. I totally agree with that. And especially if he was restrained, because everybody that strikes somebody when they're restrained under my watch was terminated. Because once the handcuffs are on, you win. There's no reason to stay on top of somebody or whatever once the handcuffs are on. There's always going to be a debate about what it takes to actually get the handcuffs on. There's pain compliance, there's strike compliance, but those strikes were never taught to go to the head. So there's no way to justify that. I agree. They'd have to be disciplined for that, maybe up to and unfortunately including termination, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But I will say this. That officer should be disciplined for those strikes. 2 strikes. 1 strike is bad enough. 2, now we're getting into this so-called punishment thing that a lot of these prosecutors like to throw around, and when they're actually not. But that right there would definitely be a case where I would say is punishment.
Right.
But none of that had to happen.
That's true.
And that doesn't justify what the officer did.
Correct.
But none of that had to happen.
Right.
There's a good chance that if he would have just showed the guy his license or whatever, at worst, he might have got a ticket and went on, and he could have went and smoked his weed in his pocket.
Completely, I agree with that.
Exactly.
I think one of what the officers will argue, that the discovery of the suspended license and the marijuana justified their suspicions. I'm here to tell everyone that is legally irrelevant. That has nothing to do with anything. So let me go ahead and explain to you like this. The reasonableness of force is judged based on what the officers knew at the moment.
I agree.
They didn't know that.
Right.
So they can't go ahead and say, hey, guess what? Oh, no. This justified why we did what we did. No. A civil suit's coming. You violated McNeil's rights.
Well, the stop was justified. What was not justified was the 2 strikes.
Right.
And even though nothing justifies the 2 strikes, he set the environment for that.
Sure. He sure did.
Exactly. And he took it to a whole nother level where more than likely he would have got a ticket. Well, after they ran his name, he probably would have went for suspended license anyway.
Right.
But, when you're in a glass house, you shouldn't be throwing stones. You already got drugs. You got a suspended license. I want to be careful saying this because I don't want to say, you got to be careful saying, okay, he brought this on himself, because he didn't bring on himself getting struck unnecessarily. But the arrest and everything else he did.
Right. So, police, a lot of people feel as though that police officers can't order you out of the car. No, they can't order you out of the car if, you feel as though that, hey, guess what? That isn't a real police officer, or you feel something like you get somewhere safe, you call 911 system or anything like that. But they do have the authority, if it's a lawful traffic stop And even if it's not unlawful, comply, right? I would say, hey, guess what? You can fight. You don't fight them in the streets. You fight officers in court.
In the
all the time.
courtroom.
Right.
In the courtroom.
So,
and I've said this before, and I'll say this again. We've got to be very careful with how we restrict police officers in their ability to stop people, because the very person they don't stop because they're terrified because of all it is, I don't have to answer this. That could be the person that breaks in your house. That could be the person that kills one of your loved ones, because it's a very effective technique to stop people and check them and see why they're there. And as long as they're there for legitimate reason and everything's fine, then that's fine. I've been stopped plenty of times in my life by cops as a cop. And I just simply told them who I was, why I was there, and that was the end of it.
Mhm.
But if we take that authority away from cops, that they can't make those type of inquiries, I hope that society realizes we're putting ourselves in danger.
right.
I can't tell you how many times I've stopped somebody in the course of my 30-year career, and they just happen to have a gun, or they just happen to have a screwdriver and was getting ready to break into something, and the things that's prevented by doing this. And if every time a cop stops somebody is why you stopped me, and then everybody thinks that's okay, we don't want a society like that. But at the same time, that doesn't give the cops right to take cheap shots at people. And it appears this young man got 2 cheap shots, and that's not right.
Right.
That cop needs to be terminated for that.
Yeah, and it just changed the whole complexion of what would have been an okay car stop. And
Right.
you now put your whole department in jeopardy because of
Let me
that.
tell you this. I've never believed that he should get off because of what the officer did. I think you take care of both of them.
No.
Yeah, you don't drop the charges on him or
No,
whatever.
he broke the law.
Yeah, he broke the law. He gets what he gets. The officer gets what he gets.
Correct.
Exactly.
And that's how we should go ahead and end this. So, that was pitiful on that end of it. But this is the state of the world right now. So once again, that's going to do it for this episode of Hill of the Justice. Of course, if you are moved by our stories, if it sparked any type of conversation with you, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. We love and we do respond to many of your comments. And, we do understand your voice does matter. So hit the notification bell and join us next time here on the Hill of Justice. Until then, stay safe.